So this is actually pretty important. So Dr. Fauci ripping the White House coronavirus approach. So ever since, coronavirus really came out, funny way of phrasing it, sounds like a movie that came out to go watch, or like a video game. It's like the new Call of Duty came out. But anyways, even back in like the spring, Fauci kept talking about the winter, nonstop hearing about the winter. It may get worse. It's going to be tougher. I guess we know that supposedly it's harder for viruses to survive in hotter weather, so when it's winter time, it's easier for it to survive. But I guess also as people start to get more comfortable in the state of coronavirus, people are more likely to transmit it, to catch it, not wearing masks. And so this is a big deal also, obviously shitting on the White House's response a couple days out from the election. It says Anthony Fauci, the nation's leading infectious disease expert, took aim at the White House's handling of the coronavirus outbreak as the country is approaching winter and seeing a spike in cases, saying that, quote, it's not a good situation, and there are record cases coming out now, by the way. It says, we're in for a whole lot of hurt. It's not a good situation. Fauci, a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, told the Washington Post in an interview this week. Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, said that, quote, all the stars are aligned in the wrong place as you go into the fall and winter season, with people congregating at home indoors. You could not possibly be positioned more poorly. He warned of the country reaching a point where it could see more than 100,000 coronavirus cases recorded daily if it does not reverse course quickly when it comes to public health practices. His comments come shortly after the country recorded a surge in COVID-19 infections last week, and as multiple states have reported record numbers of cases in recent weeks. Fauci said in the interview, Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden's campaign, quote, is taking it seriously from a public health perspective, while President Trump is looking at it from a different perspective by focusing on the economy and reopening the country. He also said that the coronavirus task force has been having fewer meetings despite rising cases in the country and that, quote, the public health aspect of the task force has diminished greatly. He told the paper that the president is not accessible to him, and White House coronavirus response coordinator Deborah Birx as he once was. Fauci said the last time he and the president spoke was around the start of November. It's October, sorry. It's November 1st today. I actually didn't even realize that. So it's been a month since he spoke to him. He says, the last time I spoke to the president was not about any policy. It was when he was recovering in Walter Reed. He called me up. All of a sudden, they didn't like what the message was because it wasn't what they wanted to do anymore. They needed to have a medical message that was essentially consistent with what they were saying. There's going to be spikes. There's going to be no spikes. There's going to be vaccines. With or without vaccines, people are tired of COVID, Trump said on the call, according to audio obtained by The Hill. So basically, Fauci's really taking aim. I mean, he's really taking aim at Trump here. It's definitely a big deal. This is the most that I've seen him do this. We're 2 days out from the election. He's essentially, that comment he makes about the difference between Biden and Trump is essentially his way of saying, Biden is better on this issue. In a way, it's essentially a tacit endorsement of Biden there, which is definitely a pretty huge deal. Another story that I think kind of went under the rug a little bit. I don't even know how many of you know this. I saw that Boris Johnson is getting ready to shut the UK down again, which is huge. That's huge news right there that, we're potentially going to go back into another shutdown. They're going into a shutdown in the UK because it appears that cases are surging everywhere. At least in the United States, it seems to be heavily doing it. And it seems that Boris Johnson, I guess, is more, he learns from mistakes more than I guess Trump does, which is interesting. But definitely not a good look for the country as the cases continue to rise. But this is a big deal as, again, this is essentially a tacit endorsement of Joe Biden as we're just 2 days out from the election. And I don't know how many people are going to look at this to weigh their vote, but it's certainly a big deal because it appears this is the most, quote, political we've seen Fauci get.